How's it going, everybody? This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment. Um, right now is it's not midnight; it's past midnight. I just watched the new episode of the Twilight Zone, the brand new version of the Twilight Zone by Jordan Peele on CBS All Access. By the way, Rama Screen is an affiliate of CBS All Access, so if you don't have CBS All Access yet, don't worry. Just go to my website, ramascreen.com, and go to the sidebar on the homepage, and you'll see CBS All Access banner. Click on it, click through it, and then follow the instructions from there. And voila, you can subscribe to CBS All Access, on which you can watch Star Trek Discovery, The Good Fight, and of course, The Twilight Zone. Um, Okay, let's get right to it. Tonight's episode, the brand new episode 8, is titled "Point of Origin," starring Jennifer Goodwin. Jennifer Goodwin always cracks me up because the spelling of her name is so peculiar. It's Ginnifer, not Jennifer like Jennifer, but it's Ginn. Very, very unique. Co-starring James Frain. James Frain is already actually a part of CBS All Access family. He plays Sarek, Spock's dad, in Star Trek Discovery, which you can only watch on CBS All Access. And co-starring also Michael Eklund, one of my favorite underrated character actors. Those of you, my fellow Winona Earp, would remember him as Bobo Del Rey. Um, I met Michael Eklund back when he was promoting Winona Earp, and ever since he left that show, he's been in like this movie and that movie, like Cold Pursuit and here and there. But I think a guy as talented as him needs to or deserves a steady gig again. Um, Hopefully that happens for him. The thing is with Michael Eklund, he because of his look, he's been typecast usually playing either the role of a bad guy or a misunderstood character or a shady character, just like in today's episode of The Twilight Zone. So, what happens is, let me give you the context. I know one of you commented last week that, hey, Rama, we don't need the play by play. Just give us your thoughts. Okay, I'll keep the play by play short for this one. All right, how about that? My nose is runny anyway. Excuse me. My apologies. I did not mean for you to see that. But in order for me to speak, I need to blow my nose. Okay. Um, Jennifer Goodwin plays this housewife named Eve, happily married with 2 kids. And obviously, if you've seen the episode, that she comes from at least she lives a very privileged life. Upper class, well off, and her maid is this Guatemalan lady named Anna, and Anna's been with the family for 11 years, according to the information on this episode. Um, and bam, one day ICE comes in, breaks in, and arrests Anna, and that leads to Anna and her husband also finding themselves apparently because they get uh, Eve's credit card doesn't work for whatever reasons. So Eve finds herself also getting arrested by the government, and so Eve and her husband try to figure out, well, why are you keeping us here? Where are our kids? Of course, eventually they get reunited by their kids, but Eve is not allowed to go home with her husband and the kids. So Eve gets to be interrogated some more by James Frain's character, who represents the government, the Big Brother, and and throughout this process, James Frain's character kind of tortures her And la di la di la la. Long story short, Eve breaks out with Anna from the facility, and I'll leave the ending, for you guys to see what happens when you watch the episode. Okay, so that's the short play by play, very short context. Um, what are my thoughts, dude? This episode doesn't even hide it. Like, it's about immigrants. It's immigration. Okay, so obviously throughout this season one, or maybe it has been intentioned that way, or intended that way, or planned that way, that this remake, this new Twilight Zone series would be, or would cover, or would tackle a lot of today's socio-political commentary stuff. We had the police brutality covered in the episode 3 with replay. We had the prejudice and xenophobia in the episode starring Stephen Yoon as the traveler. We had Donald Trump covered in the Wonderkin episode. And of course, last week was about toxic masculinity. And now it's immigration. Kind of makes me, to be honest with you, um, makes me miss the first, miss as in like fondly miss, not like miss out on. I miss the way the first two episodes were done. Like the one with Kumail Nanjiani, the comedian, and the one with Adam Scott, the one that paid homage to the William Shatner episode. Those first two episodes, man, they, as far as I remember them, they did not have a social political agenda. They're just like, mind trip, weird, um, paranoia thriller, right? Um, and there's nothing, you know m- there's no message or social point that those episodes try to drive home. That's okay. So that's the problem with this episode. And I'm speaking as an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. I came to America 1999, so it's been 20 years now. I'm now a U.S. citizen, but I'm still an immigrant at heart. I'll never forget where I came from and how I got to be uh, where I am today. So, as an immigrant, I don't like this episode. I get that it means well. I get that the episode wants to, kind of preach to the audience, saying, "Hey guys, we're all immigrants somewhere." But the problem with this episode is, I think, the problem with the Twilight Zone series in this new version so far, in that it doesn't do a good job of being subtle about the message. Like it's too obvious. Like from the get-go, like even when Jordan Peele, as a narrator at the beginning of the episode, this episode, he says, "Oh, Eve will find herself within the borders of the Twilight Zone." Borders, get it? And even James Frain's character mentions words like caravan and pilgrims coming. I'm like, and Michael Eklund's character, when he tries to help Eve escape, and then Eve's like, "Oh, I don't know if I should trust you," and then Michael Eklund's character looks at Eve and says, "Oh, is it because I don't look like you? If is it because I look different? Trust me, we're the same." Okay, could it be that she's hesitant to follow your lead because you're a freaking stranger? It's not because, "Oh my God, you're Czechoslovakian, or like you're Eastern European, or like you're an immigrant, so I don't trust." It could be just like because she doesn't know you, man. So that's my point. It's like this episode, it's it hits you in the head. Number one, it's already too obvious. It's not subtle about it, you know. And number two, number one, it's too obvious. It's not subtle. Number two, it keeps hitting you in the head. Hey, hello, this is about immigration. And I'm here going like, yeah, I get that the first 1,000 times. Holy crap. You know, at least with the episode replay about the police brutality, at least that one has time travel element to it. Remember that? The mother presses the replay button and they went back a few moments or a few hours before. At least there's that. In this one, what is the mystery aspect of it? There's no mystery to unlock. Nothing. Nothing. There's this torture device, which I'm like, what does that have to do with the sermon about immigration? Like how does that illustrate immigration whatsoever? I'm like, dude, the episode's not even trying to come up with a Twilight Zone esque mystery or a lockbox that for us to, or a puzzle for us to put the pieces together. Twilight Zone's supposed to be like, ah, there has to be a mystery to the episode. It can't be just like that upfront or obvious about it, because then it'll be just like a show or a drama about immigration. It's not a Twilight Zone episode about immigration. Where's the Twilight Zone part of it, man? Do you see where I'm getting at? I really don't like this episode. At least last week, they, with the toxic masculinity, as flawed as that episode was, I liked it. Remember, I told you I enjoyed that one because it was basically a zombie episode, and I love zombies. I'm a big fan of zombies ever since I could remember. And that one did not care too much into, oh, here comes the CDC, here comes the explanation by the president, here comes the SEAL Team 6 trying to, counterattack. No, it's just like rabid people attacking each other, or attacking Taisa Farmiga's character, and that's it. And of course, with the toxic masculinity message, which again is not too subtle about it, but at least that episode has a Twilight Zone vehicle on which the toxic masculinity theme, you know, could be carried on, or like lifted, could that it could drive the point home using that vehicle, that zombie apocalypse. This one, nothing. There's nothing. Okay, so they go to this dungeon and there's other prisoners. Man, and I'm like, really? And they show flashbacks of what could be her origin in the past, because that's the implication. They're not subtle about that as well. The implication is that she herself is an immigrant. That's why at the end, Jordan Peele, as a narrator, says that we're all immigrants from somewhere, from other dimension, from other country. That's the point. So that flashback, her memory, um, gives you, the audience, the idea that she herself was that kid who, I'm guessing, or I'm assuming, must have been a refugee from a war torn country, and she's grown accustomed to her comfortable lifestyle for many years now, that she forgot where she came from. I it's not it's not challenging, this episode. doesn't live up to a Twilight Zone or what a Twilight Zone episode should be, because it doesn't even try to be Twilight Zone, and I'm really really disappointed by this episode. Really, really, it's like, what am I supposed to be? Oh, surprised that the freaking ice cream truck was in on it. I was like, dude, we could see that coming a mile away. Oh, this is so dumb. This is. I hate this episode. You know, look again. Um, as an immigrant, I don't mind or I welcome any effort about, that could help bring people's attention to, the today's dire situation of immigration, that we do need reform. I can go on and on and on about the policy and politics and whatnot. But as far as the Hollywood's interpretation or illustration about it, man, um, it could use some work. I've mentioned to you before, Supergirl, the show Supergirl on CW. That one also tries to tackle immigration, with the Agent Liberty and the aliens. You go back home. This planet is only for humans, but it does it in a cheesy way. It does it in a poorly written way that makes me face palm. I'm like, really? That's the best you could do? That really? This is what we get? I mean, this is as good as it gets when it comes to Hollywood's interpretation or Hollywood's um, uh, creative illustration about immigration. This is as good as it gets. Supergirl and this not so Twilight Zone episode. Really, guys, really. Freaking Jordan Peele, freaking the Twilight Zone. This episode lets me down hugely. I am disappointed. This is not a favorite episode of mine. Probably my least favorite. I hate this episode. So there you go. That's my verdict. This episode, point of origin, and I'm speaking as an immigrant. This episode is garbage. So yeah, that's my long rant, my review. I gave you play by play and my thoughts about the Twilight Zone, Jordan Peele's version of the Twilight Zone, season 1, episode 8, titled Point of Origin, starring Jennifer Goodwin, Michael Eklund, and James Frain. If you've seen it too, do you agree or disagree with my assessment? And are you like me? Do you wish that the final two episodes, episodes 9 and 10, would just be something trippy and weird and mystery driven and suspense? That I wish these final two episodes would just be like that, without the agenda, without the social commentary stuff. It'd be nice to have the last two episodes be like the first two episodes. Or maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Press that like button, ring that bell. And if you can help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/Rama Screen. Let's rock this. Good night, you guys.